We have been manipulating with physical documents for decades with obvious challenges in findability, security, reporting, classification, storage, rather than the inability to unlock the power of the valuable information stored in these physical documents. On the other hand, the amount of information has been growing dramatically, showing no signs of slowing down, and it became extremely clear that the key to managing information is to organize, classify, store, and secure it in a unified place. And of course, this place is not physical warehouses. Thus, the need for transforming physical documents to digital had emerged and became no longer a luxury. This is called digitization. Having digital representatives in hand is good, but not enough. Simply because we are used to share physical documents with each other and we collaborate on them together. Think about signing an agreement, MOU, contract, or any other kind of requests. That's why processing digital documents is not less important than digitization, and that's called digitalization. Finally, over the past few years, we found that we are facing pressure from many sources, and one of the top sources that cannot be overheated is governmental regulations that we have to comply with. No organization would like to take the risk of non-compliance. Thus, ensuring compliance is a top priority for any organization. Having said that, I believe you might be wondering if there is a solution for these challenges. I'm glad to say yes. Hello and welcome. Thanks for having me today. This is Ahmed Al-Affas from Intalio, and I'm here to demonstrate Intalio Document Management System, which is a web-based, fully responsive, multilingual platform that aims to organize, classify, and store all types of content in a unified, secured, and centralized repository. It manages the full life cycle of documents, starting from capturing until archiving or final disposition. Before I start the demo today, let me start by going through our demo scenario, and it's an invoice approval. As we can see, there are three personas in our demo, starting from the department manager and the finance manager, and finally the legal counsel. The department manager will do the initiation of the invoice approval process by capturing the invoice received in physical document and then indexing and uploading it to Intalio Document Management System, and then configuring an alert in order to be updated with any changes that might take place on the document, and finally start the approval process by routing this document to the financial manager. The finance manager will revise and approve the invoice, and in case of his approval, he will route it again for the legal counsel, who will validate the invoice against the contract and make sure that the amount mentioned in the invoice is correct as per the contract and that the contract is already active. Finally, the legal counsel will go through the retention of the invoice and will demonstrate the reporting capabilities of Intalio Document Management System. Now, let's jump to the demo. From the login screen, I'm going initially to log in with the department manager with the username manager1, and then I will enter the password and log in. This is the landing page or the home page for the department manager. Actually, the first step that this department manager will do after receiving the physical invoice is to scan this document. So from the filing plan, I'm going to go for scan files. Of course, here, if there is a scanner that is attached to my laptop, I will go through the scanning process until I finish uploading the document to the system. But for the sake of the demo, I will directly upload a single file, which is our invoice, to the system. I'm going to browse from here, then go to the demo documents and choose Atlantis invoice. This is our invoice. Click Save. And then from this screen, for the uploading the document, I will choose the content type or the document type, which is invoice. And based on my selection, the metadata or the attributes for the invoice content type will be displayed. So here we'll start filling the data. The issuer is Atlantis and the invoice date. The invoice number, invoice currency, and the total of the invoice. The sender is the same, issuer is Atlantis. And then I will click save. Once I click save, the invoice document will be automatically saved in its associated folder, which will be created specially for it. As we can see there is a folder structure that has been created under the folder cabinet, invoices, and then here is the name of the issuer, Atlantis, and the date, which is 9 March 2021, and here is our uploaded invoice. This structure is called pattern, and it's configured in the system so that each content type is automatically uploaded and stored in its associated folder in the way we would like to see our documents in the system. From here, I will change the view. I need to see the name first, and then modified by and modify date. Okay, save. Just to change the order of the columns. You will find that this document by default is checked out, and this means that it's locked for the department manager until I finish all the modifications on this document, so that there's no conflicts or other users are accessing the document at the same time. After uploading the document, I will right click on it and then go for alert. And alert me means that I need to be notified whenever any updates take place on this document. I need to follow up this document. Similarly, like when you subscribe to a channel and then you get notified whenever there are any new uploaded videos on this channel or something like that. So I will say that this is Atlantis invoice alert. And I will need an alert whenever anything changes. As we can see that whenever any change is done on this document, either by me or by any other user, I will be notified. Finally, the notification is sent either immediately or daily or weekly. I will go for immediately and save. Last thing I will do is that after I uploaded the invoice, I need to send it to the finance manager for his approval. And once again, I will right click on the document and choose other actions and go for route. And from the route screen, I will choose that I would like to route it for the finance manager. And of course, for his approval. And let me say that I will expect his approval by mid next week. And I will put a comment, thanks to approve Atlantis invoice. Send. Okay. Last thing I will do is that I will check in the document. And from here you will find that there are two options. Either I can save it as a minor version or a major version. I will go for a minor version initially. And this is of course to guarantee that all the versions of the documents are maintained and that you are always accessing the latest version of the document. So finally I will log out and choose to log in with the finance manager. The finance manager now logs into the system. As we can see that the landing page changes, so that this is his personalized view. And most importantly is that there is one notification in the browse inbox, and that's what I care about. I find that the Atlantis invoice has been sent to me from the department manager with the expiry date the 28th of March. Thanks to approve Atlantis invoice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I will view. And from here I will find out that I can view Atlantis invoice and check out all its information, starting from the invoice number, the date, the order number, etc., and even the invoice total. If the finance manager is fine with the invoice, I can simply choose to check it out. And when I check it out, as I said, it will lock this document for editing by the finance manager so that no one else can edit the document at the same time. I will need here to approve the document and sign it as well. So here we go for signatures, and I will choose my signature. Simply I choose from here because the finance manager has already a signature saved in the system. So I choose default location, which will store his or publish his signature on this place of the document. Once I'm done with the signature, I might need to add stamp and say that this invoice has been approved. The stamps are already there. I can put it here, for example, approved, and here's the user, the finance manager. Once I'm done, I can click save. And the next step is that after approving the document, I will need to route it again for the legal counsel in order to make sure that this invoice matches the contract and that the contract itself is active so that we can proceed with paying this invoice for the issuer, that is Atlantis. So I will route again the invoice for legal counsel. And this is for validation. I will assume that I will expect his reply before the end of March. Thanks to validate. And then click send. Now that, as we can see, the routes inbox of the finance manager is empty because I have already finished the task I have. Now I have to log out and log in with the legal counsel user. Now I will log in with the legal counsel. And from here, I will find that there is one inbox item, and of course there is Atlantis invoice with the comment thanks to validate. Once again, the legal counsel will view the document. But he will need to link this document to the contract. That's why let me search for the document from here. It's called Atlantis. Okay. Now the legal counsel cannot apply any modifications on this document because the document is still checked out by the finance manager. So I will log in with the finance manager just to check in the document so that all the modifications are applied and other users can access the document. Let me search here for Atlantis. And from here I will choose to check in this document, and I will also go for 1.2, which is a minor version. Save. Now the document has been checked in. Once again, back to the legal counsel. Search for the document and then go for its location. Yes, this is it. And then I will choose to view this document. Now it should be checked out, and yes, I would like to check out the document. My mission here as a legal counsel is that I need to check this invoice and also link the contract related to this invoice to the document. So from this tab I will go for links and then add a link, and I will search for Atlantis contract. Here is the contract. I will link. And I will also give it a view because I need to check out the contract itself if there are any terms that will contradict with the current invoice. If I'm fine with the contract, then I have already linked it to the invoice, and finally I will go for the signature part. I will choose to sign the document, and the legal counsel does not have any signatures, so I will go and create one. It's fine. Legal counsel. Legal counsel signature. Yes, and from here I can choose whatever signature I want, and after doing this I can simply sign the document, and also I can stamp it with any annotation like, for example, approved, reviewed, or whatever. So I will go for reviewed, and this means that the legal counsel has already reviewed the invoice and validated it against the contract. Now I will click save. The link icon will appear here, and still the document is checked out by me. I will check it in so that I save all the changes. Let me choose this time that this is a major version, and I will say that this version has been reviewed and approved and reviewed. Save. So now, after checking in the document and validating it, I will go for the retention part. And when I say retention, I mean that this type of document, so content type, that is the invoice, As per the governmental regulations, I will have to retain it for a specified duration of time. And that's why the module records management exists in our system. And we will see that there is already a retention policy defined for the invoices. Let's check it out. The name is invoice and it applies on the invoice content type. And the retention field is the modified date and the period is 1 year, so that each invoice is retained for 1 year and I am notified 1 month before the retention duration is due. This is automatically applied on all the documents from the content type invoice. And of course, Atlantis, our invoice, is one of them. Finally, the reports. I will go through creating my own report. There are already out-of-the-box reports in the system, but I will go through, or I will now create my own report by entering all the required information. So let me say that I would like to check out all the invoices for this year until today that have been created starting from the 1st of January this year until today. And I will assume that I'm interested in invoices as well. So I will go for invoice. If there are any fields here that I'm interested in filling, I can continue, but the two mandatory fields are the creation date from O2. And then next, these are the fields that I can include in my report. I will choose all of them. I won't change anything in the ordering. And then draw the report. And here's the result. Now the report shows all the invoices that have been created in 2022 until today, of course. I can export it to Excel if needed, or I can do whatever action I need on this on these invoices or the report results. Of course, as I said, there are other out-of-the-box reports in the system, and these reports are totally configurable and can be added based on the business requirements. Now I will log out from this user. And let's take a look to the initiator of this request. There is the department manager. What I need to show here is the alerts, because the department manager has configured the alerts on the document Atlantis invoice, and we have done so many actions on it. So now I will go for my alerts, and then I will see that there is an action that took place, and since I am already registered this document so that I'm alerted with any changes that take place on this document, I will find its name here. Finally, I will log out. That's it for today. I would like to thank you for your time and for having me today. Thank you so much.